Good afternoon. My name is Chrissy Mazzola from North American DF, and I'm here today with Fran Reale from Safari Realty. How are you today?
Good to see you, Chrissy.
Good to see you. I have a couple questions to ask you. What made you get into realty?
32 years ago, I had left the business I was in. I didn't feel fulfilled. And I was sitting at a ball game, and a friend of mine came over and said, "Have you ever considered a career in real estate? You know, you got the nice personality." And I said, "Are you crazy? Those sharks, those people, blah, blah, blah." So she said, "Well, wouldn't it be a good idea if you went into the business and you corrected the problem?" And I started in the career, and I did extremely well. And I said, I think this might be a business for me.
For people that are going into realty today, do you have any advice for them?
Yes, I do. What you learn in school is the legalese and how to do everything. And then what we do is we train on how to do business here on Staten Island, Brooklyn, Queens. We do Long Island. We do all of New Jersey. So you have to know the different nuances. But the most important thing is you have to be willing to focus, develop a following for yourself, and work the business, which is your sphere of influence, knocking on doors, but the steps that it takes to be in business for yourself, but not by yourself in a real estate organization.
And where do you see the market now with real estate?
Very interesting. The real estate market has always been a volatile one. So depending upon what you want to buy in the area and what you can afford for the area determines whether it's a buyer's or seller's market.
Are you renting more than selling?
Actually, we're selling an awful lot of homes. The interest rates are starting to creep up, so buyers are realizing that market conditions are no longer falling to the bottom. They're starting to bounce up just a little bit. So since owning a home is better for those that can afford to do it than renting, so that you do start to build some equity eventually, that buying a home today is the best way to go.
What is your advice on first home buyers?
First home buyers are a wonderful breed of buyer. The first thing that I would suggest that they do is to find somebody that they feel comfortable with, either by word of mouth or just do their own search and then interview them. And the suggestion that I would have is to hire your real estate broker or sales agent as a buyer's representative. Now, years ago, nobody knew the difference. Who was the agent working for? But in today's world, you really need to know that you should have someone representing you on your side of the transaction.
Well, Fran, I want to thank you today for having this conversation with us and the audience. And thank you.
No problem. I appreciate the opportunity. Have a great day. Thanks.
Hi, my name is Chrissy Mazzola from North American, and I'd like to introduce today Danny Leibowitz. How are you today, Dan?
How you doing, Chrissy? Well, in 2003, primary care ambulance was brought into fruition by Paul Leibowitz. He's been a New York City paramedic for going on 31 years now. He went through the EMS system, through the fire department, a couple of private ambulance companies in the early 90s. He's been a Staten Island resident for over 20 years, and getting out into the community, he saw the need for better response times, better patient care, more action to help the sick residents of Staten Island. So he got a license for the ambulance service, started going around knocking on doors, letting people know that there is a service for them. If they do need that extra care, that extra smile to make a tough situation better, you know, that finally Staten Island has that option available to them. And thank God, 10 years later, you know, we've grown to the premier ambulance service on Staten Island.
Which is nice. I see your ambulances all over the place.
Yeah, everybody does.
This is great.
Billboards, 20 billboards driving around the island all day long. It's great.
Danny, what is the most gratifying part of your job?
So we're an ambulance service. People get sick. People have emergencies. People panic for the most part. People don't know what to do. They don't know where to go. They don't know who to call. Personally, I get to go out and talk to these people and, you know, in a tough situation, go out and give them a helping hand. and you just go out and you talk to them, and you be a friend, be a neighbor, be somebody in the community that's helping out.
Right.
And it's rewarding to see those smiles come out in a time of stress.
Right, especially when you help somebody that is having a serious problem.
Most people, they think I'm having an emergency. Well, my chest hurts, I need to go to the emergency room. I'm gonna pick up the phone, I'm gonna call 911.
Right.
Everybody knows from the time they're as tall as this table.
Right, they call 911.
Call 911, they're gonna help you. 911 is great, they do a great service. It's a city agency, it's, run, they have monster resources. Unfortunately, on Staten Island, their resources have been cut in the past couple of years. There's a bureaucracy they gotta go through to get the resources where they need to go. With us, we're a business. We have resources, we have money coming in, we put resources back out in the community. We can go and we can take a step back and look at what's needed for people. And we can say, you know what, we need a little more coverage here. This community is not getting the service that they need. Let's go out and help them. Let's bring them in, let's make them feel welcome. Let's make them feel like they're part of a community. So we have that opportunity. We have a core group of people that can sit down, analyze the situation, make a decision to say, you know what, they're getting neglected. Let's give them some more coverage.
Will their insurances pay for primary care?
Yes, primary care ambulance, we accept all insurances. For any emergency, it's no issue. The insurance covers it. We take care of all of that. We don't send bills out to people. If you call 911, the unfortunate part is people think it's a city service and it's free, but they get a bill in the mail a couple weeks later saying, here's the cost for an
Right,
ambulance
right.
trip. We actually submit the bills to the insurance company
So you
for the
help them out,
patients.
so you
Right.
help them.
We also provide non-emergency medical transportation through an ambulance and an ambulette, somebody in a wheelchair or somebody who needs that extra assistance.
So if they need help to get to the hospital, but they just can't drive because they're elderly. If I call 718-975-0600, what happens after that?
So, in case of an emergency, 718-975-0600 is our emergency phone number. It's 24 hours a day. You're going to speak directly to either a dispatcher or one of our expert call takers. They're going to ask you, what's your name, where are you, what's your emergency? 3 questions. After those 3 questions, an ambulance is on their way to you. We try and cut down on the wait time. We can get the proper resource, the proper ambulance crew out to them as quick as possible. After the ambulance is dispatched, then they're going to ask you those ancillary questions. What's your social security number, the date of birth, the insurance information, and they're going to stay on the phone with you for a couple more minutes until the ambulance gets there, and then the crew comes in, takes care of you for the rest of the way until you get to the emergency room.
Danny, I want to thank you so much for answering my questions today. Thank you.
Thank you, Chrissy.